Well, the tables have turned, and Judge Mathis has just put his wife Linda on blast and accused her of being a gold digger and trying to come after his millions. It's wild how he suddenly made a turn from claiming that he's going to fight for his marriage to dragging his wife for coming after his money. But if y'all thought that these two have been living a happy married life, you better think again, because the situation is about to be a hot mess. Judge Greg Mathis and Linda were supposed to be the power couple that we all looked up to. They were married for a whole 39 years. That's like forever in Hollywood time. But now it's all falling apart, and everybody's talking about it. So what happened to make this so-called perfect pair call it quits? And has Linda been after Mathis's money this whole time? Trust me, this tea is piping hot, and I'm about to spill it all over the place. We're talking neglect accusations, a whole lot of other drama. You won't believe what's going on behind closed doors in the Mathis household. Get ready, cuz this story is about to get real messy real fast. But y'all thought Judge Mathis had it all figured out, right? But behind the gavel was man who couldn't balance work and love. How many hours a week do you think it takes to push a wife to her breaking point? Well, in Judge Mathis's case, it was a whopping 70 to 80 hours. That's right. This man was spending more time in the courtroom than he was with his own wife. Now you might be thinking, but he's a successful judge. Surely, Linda understood well. Understanding only goes so far. After 39 years of marriage, Linda had enough of playing second fiddle to Mathis's career. And can you blame her? Imagine being married to someone who's always on the go, always putting work first. Baptist himself spilled the tea on his neglectful ways.
To ask you, with news of the separation, how are you holding up?
Not holding up very well. I would say the other man, maybe I'll be an example for other men, cautionary tale. Don't neglect your wife. You see how many at the airport now, flying out, as I have for 40 or for 25 years. My wife has been third, serving the community, taping my show, having fun with friends. That's what happens, guys. Never be too busy or never have too much fun beyond your wife.
To clear that up at all, you say it's solely neglect.
Well, neglect can create suspicion, certainly. And if you're gone as much as I am, you have every right to suspect. You go to work, you go serving the community around the country, then you go with your guys to sporting events around the country, you go to other events except without your wife, hanging with you and enjoying herself with you. And so, yeah, she would have a right to suspect infidelity.
But there was none of that going on.
That's not the purpose.
Something out the blue?
Well, ever since we started taping here in LA, I committed to staying home more and making my wife more of a priority. But as you see, I haven't. I'm still here on the road, doing the same thing. And in terms of going out into another city. But I was gone for 3 weeks. That's what July 17th.
Talk about broken promises. Linda must have felt like she was married to a ghost. Now let's talk about Linda for a second. The woman sacrificed her whole life for Mrs. Career. An insider spilled the tea that the marriage had been strained for a while, but Linda was willing to work through it. The insider said life is too short, and if Judge Mathis wants to run around the country working, he could do that. But Linda's not willing to sacrifice any longer. If he agrees to slow down and value his wife, she might take him back. But here's the real kicker. Mathis had promised Linda he would slow down. He said he'd be home more, spend more time with her. But guess what? He kept right on with this busy schedule, leaving Linda feeling more neglected than ever. It's like he forgot he had a wife waiting for him at home. Y'all, this neglect wasn't just a recent thing either. It had been going on for years. Linda had been putting up with Mathis's workaholic ways for decades. Can you imagine watching your husband choose his career over you time and time again? It's no wonder she finally reached her breaking point. Now, after years of being Judge Mathis's shadow, she's suddenly stealing all the spotlight. Here's the tea. Is Linda's transformation the real deal? Or is she just putting on a show for the cameras? And more importantly, is she coming for Mathis coins? Listen, Linda is not playing around. No more. This woman's gone from being the quiet wife in the background to the star of her own show. Let me tell you, she's looking good, doing it. Word on the streets is that Lies got whole new go about her. She's not just surviving without Mathis, she's thriving without Mathis. Now y'all might be wondering what's got Linda looking like a whole snack these days. Well, it seems like she's finally putting herself first after 39 years of marriage. Can you blame her? An insider spilled that Linda has put her foot down, so it looks like she's done being a doormat and is ready to walk all over Mathis's excuses. But it's not just about looks. Linda's got a new attitude to match. She's feeling good, and it shows. It's like she's finally remembered who she is without being judged. M's wife. And y'all, it's looking good on her, but order in the court, because we've got to talk about the elephant in the room, that divorce filing. Y'all, when Linda dropped those papers, she wasn't playing. She's asking for spousal support, and some folks, including her soon-to-be ex, are calling her a gold digger. But let's be real a second for a millisecond. After almost 4 decades of marriage, is there really gold digging to one what you're owed? Think about it. While Mathis was out here playing judge, jury, and executioner, who do you think was holding down the house? That's right, it was Linda. She put her life on pause so Mathis could chase his dreams, and now that she's ready to live her own life, people want to call her greedy, not overruled. But here's where it gets juicy. Linda's not just asking for money and walking away. No, she's reclaiming her time and her whole life. It's like she's hit the reset button. And it's starting fresh. Y'all, she's doing it in class and style. Now some folks are saying Linda's just doing it for attention. Now, I know what you're thinking. Probably, is Linda really living her best life? Or is this all just a front? Well, insiders are claiming this glow up is the real deal. Luna's not just changing her look, she's changing her whole vibe and life. She's got that just Dvorak unloving energy, and it's contagious. Well, let's not forget, this isn't just about looking good. Luna's making moves, falling for divorce after 39 years. That takes courage and guts. But speaking of deserving things, what about the truth? Because it looks like Judge Mathis might be holding out on us. 1 minute, he's all about saving his marriage. The next thing, he's jetting off like nothing's wrong. What's going on behind these judge robes? He is out here talking about fighting for his marriage, but his actions are telling a whole different story. Remember how he was seen at the airport right after the divorce news broke? It's like he couldn't wait to get away from the drama that he created. And let's talk about his little confession. He said, "If you're gone as much as I am, you have every right to suspect." Oh, suspect? What judge is he trying to justify Linda's suspicions? Or is he just covering his tracks? Either way, it's not looking good for your boy in the black robe. But y'all, it gets even juicier. There's been whispers about Mathis being tight with his wallet, if you know what I mean. But if this is true, no Wonderland has had enough. And speaking of behavior that'll make you raise an eyebrow, let's not forget about that spitting incident back in 2019. Allegedly, Mathis got so heated that he spat on a parking valet. Now, I'm not saying it's true, but if it is, it sure paints a different picture of this man that we see on TV, doesn't it? The spitting is a whole type of low. And this is where it gets real messy. There's been talk of Mathis stepping out on Linda now. He denies it, of course. But with all this neglect talk and him being gone for weeks at a time, you got to wonder what's really going on when the camera's on rolling. Like, what's the real story here? Is Mathis really the victim of a gold digging wife like he's trying to make it out to be? Or is Linda the real victim, finally breaking free from this neglectful, possibly unfaithful husband? Judge. But the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. But one thing's for sure, and two things for certain: this isn't the happy marriage that they've been selling all these years. So that makes two Leas. But y'all, it's starting to look like Judge Mathis might need to take himself to court. Because right now the evidence ain't stacking up in his favor. He's out preaching about fighting for his marriage, but his actions are screaming something else entirely. It's like watching a man trying to put a fire out with gasoline. It just don't make no sense. Cause do y'all ever wonder how a family can look so good on TV but fall apart behind closed doors? Seems like Judge Mathis ain't the only one who's been putting on a show like What's Teeing Mathis' household.